Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Wednesday, February 11th. Good morning, good afternoon to wherever you guys are in the world. I hope everybody's doing absolutely phenomenal on this wonderful Wednesday. My apologies again for the lack of episode yesterday. I told you guys I would be in Charlotte for the game on Monday. And I didn't end up getting home until 1 to 1:30 in the morning because we also had to pick up our dog from his rover. So we got home very, very late. And since I have to watch every game before going live, as well as prepare the show and all the lower thirds and all of that, there was no chance of me going live yesterday. So my apologies for everybody who was expecting an episode, but I did give you guys a day in advance of knowing that I would not be live. But we are live today, and we are going to be talking about what transpired in Charlotte when I was there. On top of that, we are going to be discussing some of the games from last night. Not all, there weren't many. And then we are going to be discussing some big true or false that I prepared for today's episode. So that's going to be at the end of today's episode. So be sure to stick around because I am going to need your guys' help to decide whether the topics that I brought up to speak about are true or false. All right. So be sure to stick around. I'm going to need your guys' help for that. As far as today's episode goes, it's going to be a good one. You are going to get a lot of information that you wouldn't have normally. But since I was at the game, I can tell y'all all the ins and outs about what transpired. All right, guys, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok and YouTube, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Follow whatever platform you're watching. And Twitch chat, you guys already know my lovely, lovely Twitch chat. All you guys got to do is sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. I'd like to apologize in advance for the lack of vocal cords I have. My apologies. But Monday night, I was screaming. As Jalen Duren said so eloquently in the locker room post-game, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in that room because it's a big fucking elephant. Excuse my French. It's a big elephant. Let's talk about the fight first and foremost in Charlotte. Now, we're going to go in order. We are going to dissect what it is that happened at this game, okay? Now, I was at the game. I got my fiance and I got photos with Jalen Duren, Greg Kelser, even Trajan Langdon. We also got both of our Cade Cunningham jerseys behind me autographed. So now I am sitting here in front of you with 2 autographs from Cade Cunningham. Now, I remember days before this game, and I saw this tweet. And for my podcast listeners, it's basically, I think this might be from the show The Wire, I think. I don't know. But there's 2 guys with guns hiding behind the couch. Okay? And they are getting shot at and they're shooting back. Okay? He said this is the Hornets versus Pistons on Monday. And then after the game, somebody quoted that tweet and said, what did he know? Oh, that's Chris Brown. That's from the movie Taken. Thank you, Twitch chat. I appreciate y'all. What did he know? Hashtag what did he know? Now, we're going to have the footage and we can carefully dissect it in front of everyone here. Basically, Jalen Duren, they made it the goal to just go to Jalen Duren because Moussa Diabate cannot guard Jalen Duren. He's just way too little. He cannot hold Jalen Duren. I was screaming at Duren. I was screaming at JB Bickerstaff. I was telling them, feed the ball to Duren. They can't hold him. He proceeded to get I think 10 points in a row on Diabate. And that included a fadeaway jumper in front of Diabate's mouth. And Duren was talking. So then Duren goes to the hoop and hard foul from Diabate. And Duren just looks at him, right? But Diabate, I don't want to hear anybody say that Duren started it. I'm going to go over and describe to you what all happened. Duren stood up straight and looked him in the face. Diabate angled his head and put his head into Duren's. And thus, Jalen Duren palming the absolute living dog shit out of Diabate's face. Just straight manhandle, mushed his face. He mushed his face. And, well, Diabate started it, but Duren escalated it. And all of this came to be with, well, it was an ugly display from Moussa Diabate. He lost his cool. I've never seen this guy look so angry. I've never seen him look so angry. Now, mind you guys, I'm a Pistons fan, okay? So I'm telling you right now, Diabate started it, Duren escalated it, and that's what happens. This is what happens in fights. There's an initiator, and then there's an agitator. Diabate initiated it, Duren agitated it. He smacked his face, mushed his shit, and Diabate proceeded to throw not one, not two, not three, but 4 different punches. And people want to say that Duren was running. Duren wasn't running. He was within punching distance the entire time. Duren was protecting. He was protecting Diabate, laughing in his face, and completely, look at the foot movement. Straight Muhammad Ali dodging his punches. And Duren knew. He threw punch after punch after punch, and then the next moment happens where Tobias Harris locks up Diabate. And I just got to say, looking at Duren and his hand cuffed, looking at his fist tightened, I think Jalen Duren knew, had he thrown that punch, I think he would have ended his life. I think we would have saw his head fly off of his body. So shout out to Jalen Duren for understanding that he is too big of a man to be messing with Moussa Diabate. Let's continue with this analysis. Duren's laughing. He's laughing. And this guy is still losing his shit. Now, I was at this game. Okay? I am at this game. And I'm telling you right now, I've never seen Diabate look like this. Ever. This guy actually looked rabid. I'm being honest. He looked rabid. I'm in the arena. I am watching Diabate, and he looked rabid. He threw about 5 punches. So I think typically in the NBA, you get 1 game per swung punch. And if it connects, you get 2 games for that punch. Luckily, none of them connected for all of the players. Okay? So I believe Moussa Diabate is going to get about 4 or 5 games. That's a game per swung punch. Okay, let's continue into this. They could not hold this man. He is sprinting and sprinting. And this is the most important part of this footage. Jalen Duren has his arm locked and cocked. I apologize, TikTok chat. You guys cannot see the full picture. If you guys want the full picture and the full analysis, be sure to come into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. If you click the profile picture at the top and then the link in my bio, or just look up the same name, Jay-Z Uncut. It's the same name on Twitch. Look up that name and you'll be able to see the full screen. Unfortunately, TikTok screen is so little, but the Twitch screen is full screen. So I hope to see you guys come through. So now seeing Diabate run up to Duren. We got a freeze frame right here. Jalen Duren held back this punch. He held back. I'm going to let it play for 1 second. He held back. He didn't swing. He did not swing. Had he swung, I think Moussa Diabate would be planning the funeral. I got to be honest with everybody. I met Jalen Duren. Okay. I got a picture with Jalen Duren. My fiance fist bumped Jalen Duren right before this game. Those muscles are not for show. This is the biggest human being I have ever stood next to. And I have a picture with Big Ben Wallace. I have a picture with Jalen Duren. I have a picture of me towering over the OG Isaiah Thomas. I have met a lot of NBA players in my day. Big Ben Wallace. Big Ben Wallace was nowhere near the size and stature of Jalen Duren. Part of the reason being is because Jalen Duren is like 4 inches taller than Big Ben Wallace. So when I tell you, if he let this punch go, guys, Diabate's falling into his where his hand is going. Oh, and shout out Jared Jack right here. I got his autograph. Had this punch, if he finished this follow through, if he followed through with this punch, I think Diabate would have went lights out. Luckily, Jalen Duren understood how strong he truly is. I see somebody in the TikTok said Duren is 26 this year. That's incredibly incorrect. He is not 26 years old. No, nobody in the Pistons core is 26 years old. Even Stu is 24 years old. Jalen Duren, I believe, is 22. Jalen Duren is 22 years old. He turned 21 last year. Yeah, he just turned 22 in November. So let's continue with this fight. Let's continue with this analysis. This guy Diabate is still going. He is still going. And then out of nowhere, Miles Bridges starts pointing and talking to Jalen Duren right here, the wife beater. And I don't want to hear anybody defend this guy. I don't care if you're a Hornets fan. I don't care if you're a fan of people who beat women. This guy will never have a supporter out of me. He's a piece of shit human being. I said this before the fight. I'll say this after the fight. I do not like Miles Bridges. I hope nobody likes Miles Bridges. He's a horrible human being. He pled no contest to beating his wife in front of his children. You guys can look up that case if you want. He should not be in the NBA. Let's continue. Miles Bridges talking and pointing to Jalen Duren, and then Miles Bridges gets loose. By the way, Diabate is still getting held back. He is still getting held back. So I'm pretty confident. I will go over the order in which I believe the suspensions will go. But don't think Diabate is in the cool here. He is going to get hammered with the suspension. Okay? So let us continue. Also, TikTok, don't buy any of the fake news. People are spamming how many games they're getting suspended for. If you guys want a real community that you can talk real NBA with, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. I hope I can see you guys come through to the Twitch stream. Get away from all the idiots who support Miles Bridges in the TikTok. Get away from those idiots and come through to the Twitch. Miles Bridges is a piece of shit human being. I will never, ever, you'll never hear me say one good thing about Miles Bridges. I don't care if he wins the MVP of the NBA. He's a horrible human being. And you can't even call him a man. Any person to lay hands on a woman is not a man. Any person to lay hands on their woman in front of their children is not a man. I'll say this to his face. That guy is not a man at all. I keep seeing a bunch of people saying Stu is suspended for 25 games. If you guys are sick of all the bullshit in the TikTok, come through to the Twitch stream. Link in my bio. Come through to the Twitch. Let's continue. So Diabate is still getting held back. Still. And then Miles Bridges here comes in and swings a punch at Jalen Duren. In fact, this didn't even show the angle. Hell, I should just show my angle of the fight. Let me show you my upload of the fight right here. Let's show you my angle because I got that on footage. Miles Bridges goes up and swings a punch at JD. And here's Stu. He did not take that lightly. Stu ran off the bench and went for Miles Bridges. Didn't take his ice off. Didn't take anything off. Punches were thrown. Isaiah Stewart grabbed his little ass because he's a little man. Any man that's going to punch a woman. And Stu was not pulling hair. Stu had that man in a headlock. So for anybody that wants to tell me what they saw in the fight, I was there in person. He put him in a headlock and was beating the shit out of his head. So for anybody that has opinions on this fight, Isaiah Stewart did what he did, and he shouldn't have done it. I'm a Pistons fan. I'm telling you, he should not have done this. If I played the audio of my footage, you would hear me say, no. I see somebody in the TikTok saying you're a Pistons fan, bro. Pure bias. There's no bias here. I'm telling you, Stu should not have done that. The moment I saw Stu run from the bench, I was screaming no. I did not want Stu to do that. Did not want him to do that. I can give Stu credit for standing up for his brother. I can give Stu credit for not letting shit slide when a wife beater tries sneaking his brother on the court. But I do not support Isaiah Stewart running off the court. You have to understand, Stu, you are a repeat offender of this. And let's just go back in the past. If LeBron was not one of Isaiah Stewart's targets, he would not have the reputation that he has. If Isaiah Stewart did not get into it with LeBron James, he would not have this type of reputation. Okay? I see somebody say, okay, so you give credit to Stu for defending someone, but not Miles. Yes, Miles is a wife beater. I will not defend a man of a wife beater. I won't do that. So if you think that's bias, so be it. I'm not defending a wife beater. You will never hear me say anything good about Miles Bridges in my life, ever. So, Isaiah Stewart, you guys want to talk about suspension times. You guys want to talk about this. You guys want to talk about that. Let's get into it. Now, for anybody saying that he was pulling hair, this shows you perfect. He has that man in a headlock. He has him in a headlock, and he's punching right there. So for anybody saying he's pulling hair, don't listen to the fake news. Don't listen to the fake news. He's got him in a headlock, and he's punching him. You can see it perfect. He's got his head. He has his head. He has his head, and punch, punch. And then someone grabs his arm right here. So for Miles Bridges, talking about, he pulled my hair. Motherfucker, you beat your wife. You beat your wife. So again, Isaiah Stewart should not have done this. Was he pulling hair right here? Absolutely. He was trying to get a hold of him again because they broke him up. Stu should not have done that. Stu should not have done that. He should not have done that. But I'm here to tell you, I believe that anybody defending this man, Miles Bridges, said what Duran did was the most disrespectful thing that you can do. Well, Miles Bridges, I'm pretty sure beating your wife in front of your kids is the most disrespectful thing that you could do. So he's saying what Duran did was the most disrespectful thing that you can do. I'm pretty confident, Miles Bridges, you got him beat, buddy. You got him beat. So, people telling me he beat that case. No, he beat his wife. He did not beat his case. He pled no contest, which meant he just wanted it to end. So we're going to continue with the fight, and I'm going to tell you guys what my opinion is on this situation. The NBA is not going to suspend Isaiah Stewart for more than 10 games, okay? So for anybody saying 15 games, just give it up. That's not going to happen. I don't care what DeMarcus Cousins' bum ass said, okay? That's not going to happen. Let's go in order in which I believe the suspensions are going to happen, because they still have not said it. In order, unfortunately, it's going to be Jalen Duren, Diabate, Miles Bridges, and Isaiah Stewart. What's my thought process behind that? Jalen Duren threw one punch in retaliation. That's a game. So I think Duren's going to get one, max 2 games. Okay? 1 and max 2 games. Because he threw one punch, which equals 1 suspension. Okay? Let's move to Diabate. Diabate is going to get anywhere between 4 and 5. Your questioning behind that is because he could not be stopped. He was going and going and going. And remember the rule. Remember the rule. When you get a fight, you get a game suspended per punch thrown. You get a game suspended per punch thrown. He threw about 5 punches. So Diabate is going to get about 5 games. He wouldn't stop. He would not stop. His whole team had to run and stop him. His entire team had to run and stop him. He would not stop. He lost his fucking mind. Next is Miles Bridges. And Miles Bridges re-aggravated this fight. So here's the order. Diabate started it. Duren escalated it. It got broken up. Miles Bridges started it. Isaiah Stewart escalated it. Okay? Isaiah Stewart is a repeat offender. They will be judging him on his past. Isaiah Stewart will be getting the most games. I think that ranges anywhere between 5 and 8 games. You will not see a double-digit suspension, and I'll tell you why. Never in Adam Silver's history and his career of being the commissioner of the NBA. People are telling me I'm rage baiting. There's no rage bait here, Mr. TikTok viewer. I'm giving you nothing but the facts. Adam Silver has never suspended a player for double-digit games for a fight. Never. Never. There's been nothing in the last, 12 years, 14 years? Adam Silver's been in control. He's never suspended anybody for double-digit games for a fight. Never. You know the last double-digit suspension for my people in the TikTok who are dumb as rocks and don't understand anything? The last because none of you guys did the research. I did the research. The last double-digit suspension for a fight on the court was Carmelo Anthony in 2006. Do you know who was the commissioner in 2006? David Stern. Do you know what happened in 2005? The Malice at the Palace. David Stern had a hammer. He changed the NBA in 2006. He said no more fights. That's when they also changed the rule that you're not allowed to leave your bench. Carmelo Anthony left the bench and got in a fight in 2006. And he got suspended for 15 games. So for all of you dumb-ass morons in the TikTok chat, be sure, if you're not a dumbass moron, to come through to the Twitch stream. Do your research before you come and try to talk to me. The last person to get suspended for double-digit games was 2006 from David Stern. Peyton in the TikTok chat, you get 1 game for leaving the bench. And then you get 1 game per punch thrown. Those are the rules. Isaiah Stewart's going to have the biggest suspension, but it's going to be anywhere between 5 and 8 games. At the absolute max, I could see the NBA is bringing out a 10-game suspension based off of prior. At the absolute max, you can see 10. You will not see more than 10. And I will bet my life, my soul on that. Adam Silver has never suspended anybody for double-digit games. The last double-digit game suspension from a fight was in 2006 by David Stern, who is now looking up at us. So for all of you guys labeling Isaiah Stewart as a thug, all of you guys labeling Jalen Duren as a thug, it's not as bad as you guys honestly think. I was there in person, and I did all of the research before going live today to make sure I bring you guys nothing but facts. Yeah, in case you guys don't know, David Stern is in the Epstein files as well. I just got told Ron Artest was suspended for 86 games. LOL. You guys are truly, TikTok is truly, I got to take a time out. The TikTok chat is truly brain dead. And I mean that so honestly. You are comparing Ron Artest, who went into the stands and beat people's asses who paid to be there, versus Isaiah Stewart, who left the bench, did a couple punches, and put the guy in a chokehold. TikTok chat, you guys are utterly clueless and brain dead to bring up Ron Artest. Again, the last time a player was suspended for a fight on the court was 2006 for double-digit games. That was Carmelo Anthony. Now, this is my last take on this fight. So TikTok chat, be sure to come into the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio, okay? Honestly, TikTok, seriously, like for you smart people, be sure to come through to the Twitch. Seriously, I mean that. I can't state that enough. Be sure you come through to the Twitch stream. Get out of the TikTok and come through, okay? No, Draymond Green was not suspended for double digit for a fight. He was not. So, I'm gonna end it with this, okay? It's a shame that Adam Silver has not released the suspensions yet. I think Jalen Duren being an all-star has him very, very confused as to what to do. I would not be surprised if Adam Silver suspended Jalen Duren for 1 game, and that's tonight's game, because he doesn't want him to have a suspension after the all-star break. I would not be surprised if he only gets suspended for today. I would not be surprised. As far as Miles Bridges, the wife beater, and Diabate, who I'm a big fan of. I can't believe he lost his cool right there from getting his face mushed. As far as Bridges, Diabate, and Stu, they are going to be getting the bulk of this suspension. Like I said, I'm a Pistons fan, and I'm telling you right now, in the video I was recording at the game, I was screaming no, no, no when I saw Stu leave the bench. I did not want him to do that. I did not want him to do that. I'm a Pistons fan till the day I die. I did not want him to do that. Isaiah Stewart needs to realize how important he is to this basketball team. People will say, I've never seen an Isaiah Stewart highlight tape. All I see is the dude getting in a fight. When you hear that, just smile and laugh, because that person just admitted that they do not watch basketball. In fact, they don't watch Pistons basketball. Isaiah Stewart is a top 3 defender in the entire NBA. If he was a starter, it would be between him and Wembanyama for being Defensive Player of the Year. There's Wemby, there's Gobert, and there's Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart averages 2 blocks a game, and if he was a starter, he'd be averaging 3 to 4. Isaiah Stewart is the enforcer of this basketball team. Isaiah Stewart is the heart and soul of this basketball team. Isaiah Stewart is a top 3 paint defender in the entire NBA right now. So he also won Defensive Player of the Month in December. So for anybody that wants to say that Isaiah Stewart only gets in fights, just admit that you don't watch basketball, okay? Now, as far as the game goes, enough of the fight. Let's talk about the game itself. I was there, and now it's a real possibility that the Pistons could play the Hornets in the first round. And I'm here to tell you, as a Pistons fan, I hope that happens. Not because I think it's going to be a sweep, which I do, but because I'll be able to go to all 4 games in the playoffs. I'll be able to travel with the team. I'll be able to fly up to Detroit to see the first 2 games, stay with my parents, and then I'll be able to fly back down and just drive to Charlotte and see games 3 and 4. For anybody that doesn't believe that it would be a sweep, let me enlighten you. In the NBA playoffs, you're not hitting 19 threes in a game. You're not. You're not hitting 19 threes. They were not missing. They shot 40% from 3. They hit 19 threes. In fact, the Pistons took 17 minutes to hit a 3-pointer. It was just not their night when it came to shooting. I've never seen this in basketball history. I've never seen a team get 14 more threes than another team and still manage to lose. Now, I was at this game, and in the third quarter, before Duran and before Stu got ejected, this was getting to be a blowout. In the third quarter, the Pistons went on a 22-4 run. At one point, the Hornets attempted 15 threes in a row because they could not enter the paint. They could not enter the paint. I'm being told by some random in my Twitch chat, you think Pistons players know how to fight? Pistons aren't anything. Bro is mad Ron Artest gave them the biggest whooping in sports history. Martin 23 Kings. Can I ask what in the fuck you're talking about, buddy? We're talking about basketball. We're not talking about fighting. How about you take your sensitive ass and stop sucking off a man in my chat? Okay? Martin 23 Kings. You can hold my nuts and suck my cock, buddy. I don't know what the fuck you think you're talking about. We're talking about basketball. We're not talking about fights. Okay? So eat my ass. Excuse my French, guys. Talking about Ron Artest in the 2026. So I'm being told that the Warriors are just like the Charlotte Hornets. That's what I'm being told. I am being told that right now in the TikTok chat. In fact, I just got suspended off of TikTok, so I'm going to be ending the TikTok stream. We're live on Twitch. I should not have said that. That was my apologies. I should not have said that to the TikTok chat. They just mass reported me. So that's what happens. Now, as far as this game goes, the Hornets would get swept by the Pistons. They do not have what it takes physically and mentally against the Detroit Pistons. This game was about to be a 20 to 30 point blowout. That's what this game was about to be. It was about to be a 30 point blowout, but the ejections happened And then Karis LeVert decided to check into the game and just absolutely ruin the Pistons lead. Karis LeVert minus 19. I don't understand how Karis LeVert managed to go for minus 19, but he was in the game and the Pistons just lost their lead. This was about to be a blowout. It was about to be. They had no answer for Dern. They had no answer for anybody on the Pistons. Cade was carving them up. The only reason the Hornets didn't get blown out was because of the ejections and, most importantly, because of the three-point chucking. The Hornets made 8 threes in a row. The Hornets attempted 15 threes in a row. The Hornets had 11 threes made until the Pistons had 1. The Charlotte Hornets are a good team. They're a good, young, fun team. They don't have the physical capabilities or the mental capacity to compete with the Detroit Pistons. And I'm incredibly negative about my own team. I'm incredibly negative about the Detroit Pistons. But I'm telling you right now, I would love for the Pistons to verse the Hornets. I would love for that to happen because it would be a very easy and entertaining series. The Hornets would jack up 53s. I can't imagine seeing a game where you get 14 more threes than the other team and you still manage to lose. At halftime, we were up by 4, and I believe the Hornets at that point were shooting 60% from 3, which is just absolutely asinine. I'm being told to wrap it up, but this is a moment in time that I'm pretty confident we're going to be talking about for years and years and years and years to come. It was just a regular season game, but it will be talked about for years and years and years to come. We talked about the fight in depth, and now I wanted to talk about the game in depth, but I'm being told to hurry up. So what I'm going to do is I will hurry it up, but in the meantime, I'm going to time out the person who told me to hurry it up. So the Charlotte Hornets, they were fun. They were actually, can I be honest with everybody? I hate this kind of basketball. I hate three-point chucking. I hated sitting there and just watching three-point go up and up and up and up. It was exhausting. It was truly exhausting. That's not what basketball is, but I guess that's what basketball has turned into over the years. They were just three-point chucking. And when my fiance is sitting right next to me and she's saying, holy shit, how many threes are they going to take? They attempted 15 in a row at one point because they could not get into the paint. For any Hornets fans complaining about foul calls as well, this needs to be addressed. The Hornets scored 26 points in the paint. 26. The Pistons scored 60. And you're asking for foul calls? Your coach got ejected because he was complaining about foul calls. You have 26 points in the paint. You scored almost 80 points from 3. 80 points from 3. And you're complaining about foul calls. And for anybody saying that the Pistons are allowed to play football, the Pistons commit the most fouls per game in the season. They're getting called for their fouls. The other team, the team that's the number 1 team in the NBA, they don't get called for fouls. The Pistons do. The Pistons foul the second most in the NBA. The Hornets are a good young team. They got to get rid of LaMelo. I'm saying that point blank period. I know Hornets fans love LaMelo. I don't know how you can be older than 13 and root for LaMelo Ball, though. I got to be honest. Watching him, I was begging LaMelo Ball to shoot the ball. I was begging Brandon Miller to shoot the ball. You know why? Because every time Con Knipple caught that ball, my heart would sink to my stomach. This guy, Con Knipple, is unbelievably talented. Con Knipple is going to be a special talent for a long, long time in the NBA. Every time Con touched that basketball, I had to sit back and just admit that he was going to hit whatever shot he took. That guy is incredible. The Pistons snapped their 9-game winning streak. The Pistons snapped the Knicks 8-game winning streak on Friday, and then they snapped the Hornets 9-game winning streak on Monday. The Pistons play the Raptors for the first time this year in Toronto, and it'll be interesting to see who's suspended and how long they are. It's going to be announced before the game tonight. You bet your biscuits. That was an incredible environment, and I just got to be honest with everybody. I will remember that game for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, I will remember that game. It was that entertaining. The arena, shout out to the Charlotte Hornets fans. That arena was playoff atmosphere. That arena was deafening. That arena was starving for a good quality win. They wanted that 10-game winning streak more than I want pizza for breakfast. That crowd's energy was so hungry. Reminded me of Detroit. Except I realized I've been complaining for years and years and years and years. That was the longest winning streak I've ever seen the Hornets in my entire life. The last time they went on this win streak, I was in diapers. I was 1 year old. So shout out to the Hornets, man. They deserve the success. It was a good 3-week run, and I hope it can continue. I'm being asked, did Hornets fans give me a hard time? Can I be honest with everybody? A quarter of that arena were Pistons fans. A quarter, at minimum. No, we had no issues. We had no issues. It was a beautiful environment. It was a lot of fun. And Pistons managed to get it done. All right, guys, let's talk about a game from last night after we just talked for over a half hour on the fight and the game. Let's talk about the Indiana Pacers upsetting the New York Knicks. Now, I'm not going to sit here and overreact, okay? Let me go back live on TikTok because my suspension just got released. I want to apologize again for my French earlier. My apologies, guys. That guy was in the Twitch chat just continuously slandering my Pistons. I don't know why he was so obsessed with Pistons can't fight. Pistons can't fight. I think he was a Pacers fan. That's why he was defending Ron Artest as if Ron Artest did anything as a Pacer. Nutter Jutter, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very much. I hope to see you talk in the chat. Good morning. I want to talk about this Pacers-Knicks games, okay? The Pacers, it's actually hilarious to see a 14-40 Pacers team still just dominate New York in every facet of the word. Excuse me. Still recovering from my sickness. I'm not going to sit here and overreact about the New York Knicks losing. Listen, all Knicks fans on Twitter, all Knicks fans in my Discord, they kept sending the photo of the Washington Wizards beating the Pistons last week. I just kept seeing that image. Now, there's two differences with what happened in this game for the Pistons and Wizards versus the Pacers and Knicks. The Wizards were hitting 40 feet backboard heaves against the Pistons for the last 5 shots of this game. The Pistons would play defense for 23 and a half seconds. And then the Wizards would just throw up a hook shot, looking like the captain of my rec league team, and hit it off the backboard and drill a 40-footer. And that's how they managed to seal that game. This game, however, went into overtime. And I think there were more details in here that was left out. First and foremost, I got to start with the funny comments I'm seeing around Twitter. We didn't have OG. I saw somebody say, we were missing half our starting lineup. And I was like, wait a second. They had Hart, they had Jalen Brunson, they had Cat, they had Mikal. They were missing OG. And I was like, what are Knicks fans talking about? They were missing one starter, OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby. Not even technically supposed to be a top 3 player on their team. They were missing OG. They were also missing Mitchell Robinson. Let me just say this, guys. If the Pistons are missing Tobias Harris, because that's the equivalent on our team, our third option, fourth option. If the Pistons are missing Tobias Harris, I'm not going to say we were missing Tobias Harris, bro. In fact, the Pistons, I think, are 13-1 without Tobias Harris playing. So missing OG Anunoby, and you're telling me we were missing OG, and then that's saying we were missing Stu. You know, I'm not going to say we're missing Stu if we lose to the Indiana Pacers. Okay? So I got to be honest with everybody. Cut that excuse, Knicks fans. It ain't working. Now, on top of that, the Pacers were actively not trying to win this game, and yet they won. They won. Okay? The reason I bring this up, Mel, is because when you go on Twitter, every Knicks fan, They just want to force this rivalry with every team in the NBA, but most importantly, the Pistons. And I'm not sure why. If what I believe is true, it's because they are insecure about their own team. So let's continue talking about the New York Knicks. And I got to be honest, it starts at the top with Jalen Brunson. You could look at this and see 40 points in 42 minutes, and you think, wow, Jalen Brunson's so talented. Can I be honest with everybody here? I think they lose this game because of Jalen Brunson. He was 4 for 14 from 3, and he was ball hogging for the last 6 minutes of this game. Ball hogging for the last 6 minutes of this basketball game. This loss is on Brunson. Here's my thing. I saw a very important tweet, and that's what I want to share with y'all today. Okay? I have to show you this tweet. Okay? And this is from a Knicks fan who always shits on my Pistons, but even I had to like this tweet. Brunson took a pay cut for more help just to say F you and not pass to them in the clutch. And this speaks so loudly, y'all. This tweet speaks so loudly. You took a pay cut. Trust your guys, man. Trust them. Why are you ball hogging? Why are you dribbling the ball for 20 seconds out of the clock and chucking up a bad shot? And now, what I believe the biggest problem of this team is their defense. It was good during that win streak, but throughout this entire season long, defense has been an issue for this team. And I'm being told that it's Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Karl Anthony Towns has his own problems, and we'll talk about him. But it starts at the head of the snake. Cat is not your sole problem, ladies and gentlemen. I would go so far as to say, and I said this at the beginning of the year, you guys will never win with Karl Anthony Towns being your number 2 guy. But you know what else? And this is going to sting to hear, and this is not an overreaction. You guys will never win with Jalen Brunson being your number 1 guy. You'll never win with Cat being your 2. You'll never win with Brunson being your 1. If you can somehow get a Giannis and Brunson can be your 2, yes, I believe you guys can win as long as you don't give up too much. But if your best player is the worst, and I mean in every facet of the way, it's backed up by every stat in the book. Jalen Brunson is the worst defender in the entire league. Every advanced analytical metric will tell you that. I do not believe you guys can win with Jalen Brunson being your 1. And I know you guys love Jalen Brunson. Shit, I love watching Jalen Brunson cook all the other 28 teams in the NBA. Sorry, 29. I love watching him fry every single team. It's a beauty. I love watching Jalen Brunson. He's such a good fucking player. Defensively, however, it is an embarrassment to the sport. It is an embarrassment to the sport of basketball. The Indiana Pacers were targeting Brunson all night long. You don't believe me? Go watch the highlights of last game. He is far significantly worse than defense than Luka Doncic. Every metric tells you that. The 2 worst defenders in the NBA right now, every single stat will tell you this. Jalen Brunson as the worst, and Trae Young is the second worst. That is how it works. So when everyone is targeting Jalen Brunson, everyone's seeing it as well. Cade Cunningham was attacking Brunson. Isaiah Jackson was attacking Jalen Brunson. Bro, when you have Nembhard, regular season Nembhard, attacking Jalen Brunson, you have an issue. Because Nembhard sucks ass in the regular season. In the playoffs, sure. But in the regular season, you're allowing Nembhard to cook you. It's bad. Now, I want to talk about Karl Anthony Towns as well. What more can I say about this man? It's not entirely his fault. It's not entirely his fault. What I will say about one specific play is the play where he fouled out. This is Brunson's fault. This is Brunson's fault, okay? When you look, and that's no, by the way, that's no disrespect to Nembhard himself. What I'm saying is between playoff Nembhard and Andrew Nembhard now, it's very, very different. He's a number 2 option on a 14-win team, ladies and gents. So let's not go crazy, okay? Let's not go crazy. This is Brunson's fault right here. He didn't let Cat get settled, and it became an offensive foul. He kicked his leg out, and it became an offensive foul. Cat is, and I love this comment, he is not being utilized the way he needs to be utilized. Based, my Knicks fan in my Twitch chat said Cat doesn't fit the system that Mike Brown wants to run. Mike is using Cat like a traditional big, almost like a Sabonis. That's not his game. I fully agree. He is using him like Sabonis. I agree. This right here is Brunson's fault. Full and utter truth. This is Brunson's fault. He didn't let him, bro, he didn't even stand still yet. And Brunson ran. Didn't even let him do it. We're looking at 1 game, Jeb. Come on, bro. Oh, I guess those are the season's averages, right? Never mind. My apologies to Andrew Nembhard. He's been injured for part of the year. So again, I want to show this is not Cat's fault. I apologize to Karl Anthony Towns. I know I get on him a lot. This is not his fault. This is Jalen Brunson's fault. You have to wait for your big man to set a screen. Look, he already started running, and he's not even there yet. So offensive foul, easy. Now, as far as this team goes, you can't have your 2 best players be your worst defensive players as well. And with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, they are both the worst defenders on that team. Jalen Brunson ball hogged at the end of the 4th quarter, didn't trust his teammates, and that's how they lost that game. I could talk about the Pacers winning this game. I could. Siakam, of course, attempted 26 shots. Nembhard on a crazy efficient night, 9 for 16, 4 for 8 from deep, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, nice double-double from him. And then they had bench productivity as well, okay? But as far as the Knicks go, you cannot lose this game. You can't lose this kind of game. But I also want to give them somewhat of a break. The Pistons lost to the Wizards last week. The Knicks lose to the Pacers this week. This is what happens, y'all. And I'm being told they want to go to All-Star break. Knicks weren't taking it serious. I love this comment because, Sean, you were in the locker room, right? You were in the locker room, right? Now, I have a point where I need to address, okay? The Indiana Pacers eliminated the New York Knicks for 2 years in a row, and you're telling me they weren't taking it serious? The New York Knicks eliminated the Detroit Pistons in a narrow 6-game series, and you're telling me they didn't take those games serious? The New York Knicks don't take anything serious then. That just tells you they're not a serious team. The team that knocked you out 2 years in a row is tanking right now, and they beat you in your home floor. The team that wanted your head and they felt that they were cheated last year in the playoffs, they went out and smacked you by 40 twice. And you're telling me they weren't taking it serious. Then I apologize, Sean, if I have to be the one to break this to you. Knicks fans, in case you haven't been told this lately, you are not a gift from God. Your franchise has not won anything since 1973, yet you gloat and boast and talk so highly of your franchise as if God crafted you with his own fingers and placed you in New York. You are not a gift from God. You are a basketball team that has not been to the finals since 1999 when I was shitting my diapers. You're a good team that's underachieving. You came into this year expected to be the number 1 team in the East and to run away with this conference. The conference is yours. And what we've seen this year so far, you are on pace to win 1 more game than last year. You are on pace to win 52 games this year. That is not what we expected from the New York Knicks this year. We expected you to run away and declare this conference as your own. And now, what's the media outlet saying? The East is wide open. Why is the East wide open, New York Knicks fans? I thought you guys were undisputed favorites in the Eastern Conference. Let's be real about your team and their disappointments. They have underachieved this year, and that's okay, but it's time to address it. Do not be delusional about your team. I am a Pistons fan. I am telling you, I do not believe the Pistons can make it out of the East. It's time you do the same and understand that your team has underachieved. Let's move on to the next segment that I've prepared for you guys today. Oh, actually, that's it. Let's move on to our true or false segment, ladies and gentlemen. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The Knicks are still my favorite to come out of the East, by the way. In case that needs to be said, I'm a Pistons fan. The Knicks are still my favorites to come out of the East. They are. They were at the beginning of the year. And they are now. And I'm a Pistons fan. I don't believe the Pistons have a secondary creator to get them there. Okay? So I hope you guys clip that because I think that's genuinely a great clip. Now, TikTok chat, I'm about to get banned there because I'm getting mass reported. So if you guys can do me a favor, get away from all of the morons in the TikTok stream and come through to the Twitch stream. We would love to have y'all over here, okay? We have real basketball knowers in my Twitch stream. We would love to have y'all come through. If you guys don't know my Twitch, that's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. Come to the Twitch stream, same name on TikTok. Let me know that you came from TikTok and let me know what team you support. We would love to have y'all join the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Guys, I need your help for this next segment, all right? We're going to play true or false today, okay? So I brought 3 topics. 2 of them are hot. And I want to know whether you believe this is true or false, okay? I need your guys' help. I'm only reading the Twitch chat. So TikTok, be sure to swing on into the Twitch. We'd love to have you. Guys, let's start off with something hot and heavy, all right? True or false? Giannis is wrong for being a part owner of Kelce. In case you guys don't know, Giannis Antetokounmpo came out and said that he was a private shareholder of Kelce. They came out and said that Giannis said, we all on Kelce now. Everyone is online. The internet is full of opinions. I decided it was time to make some of my own. Today, I'm joining Kelce as a shareholder. We all on Kelce now. Signed Giannis Antetokounmpo. So true or false? Do you believe that this is wrong for Giannis to come out and admit? I believe this is true. I took my Giannis jersey down. Part of the reason is I got both my K jerseys autographed Monday night. Listen, man, I got to be honest about Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm wearing this hat that I bought from the Greece airport, from the Giannis Antetokounmpo Bros store. I'm a major Giannis fan. In case you guys don't know what Kelce is, it's not a gambling website. It's a prediction-based website. Do you guys know Polymarket, where you can bet on who wins the next election? You can bet on if that country Denny Avdia's from gets bombed. You can bet if Giannis was going to get traded by the deadline. Did you hear me? You can bet on whether or not you think Giannis is going to get traded at the deadline. You're telling me that a company that advertised themselves as a prediction-based company, and you can make a prediction with money on whether or not you get traded by the deadline? Here's what you guys all need to understand. Every line in every gambling company, somebody has a voice in it. Somebody has a hand in it. You're telling me Giannis is a part holder of a corporation that raised $25 million on whether or not he'll get traded by the deadline? Does that not sound like a conflict of interest? You're telling me there's a prediction on whether or not he gets traded by the deadline, and that's the same company that you part own? I have an even bigger question. Why did they announce this? Kelce is privately owned, ladies and gentlemen. Why did they feel the need to announce this? Oh, I know. They threw a bag at him and said, put that tweet out, please. because this is a private company. They did not need to announce this. He could have been sneaky. In fact, he's been a part owner. They announced this months later. This is different than LeBron James being in a DraftKings commercial with Kevin Hart. This is him being an owner. If there are predictions based off of your trade deadline decision, don't you think that's a conflict of interest? It's not just a prediction-based company. It's a sports gambling company. And he is a part owner. I think this is true. I think it's wrong. I don't understand what Giannis is doing. Besides Giannis saying, I want to be out of Milwaukee. I want to be in Milwaukee for life. I want to be out of Milwaukee. I want to be in Milwaukee for my life. And now this bullshit, man, I'm out, dude. I'm sorry. I was saying free Giannis, free Giannis, free Giannis, free Giannis. I'm out, bro. I'm not talking about Giannis for the rest of the season. All right? I'm done. I told you guys by the deadline, he was not getting traded. I said he's going to get traded this summer. I'm done talking about Giannis. Giannis's name will not come out of my mouth for the rest of the season. I'm done, man. Truthfully, it's. I love Greece. My fiance is half Greek. I went to the Greek islands that my fiance's mom is from 2 years ago. It was a beautiful, beautiful island. I met so many Giannis's. I met like 30 Giannis's in my almost 2 weeks of being in Greece. I'll talk to one of those Giannis's instead of talking about this Giannis here. I want to give a special shout out to Briz for leaving the TikTok stream and coming to the Twitch stream. I appreciate it very, very much. Shout out to you, Briz, for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch. I hope more of you guys do so. I got told to be quiet by a Pistons fan in my TikTok. That's utterly disrespectful. That's crazy. Wow. Friendly fire, huh? Let's move on to my next one, guys. True or false? The Twitch is Jay-Z Uncut. Same name as TikTok. The link is in my bio. Got double. We'd love to see you come through. Briz, be sure to join the Discord as well, my boy. Guys, true or false? Help me out here. True or false? Tanking is at an all-time worst right now. All-time worst. B, if you come through to the Twitch and watch 3 streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 sub out of my own pocket. If you come to the Twitch and watch three streams in a row, I will reach into my pocket and gift you a $5 sub so you no longer get ads. That's what I do around here. Juan, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Shout out to you, bro, for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm seeing a lot of trues and I'm seeing TikTok say false. I'm seeing a couple falses as well. Now, it's time to be fully honest with everybody. Tanking is at an all-time low right now. Now, you might be wondering, Jay-Z, why is that? Why is that? Part of the reason is the protections that we have in the NBA draft now. I'm going to shout out an Eastern Conference team named the Indiana Pacers. Who is tanking this year? The protections for draft picks have utterly ruined tanking at this point. The Indiana Pacers, one of their trades involved Ivica Zubac, where they traded their 2026 first-round pick, but it's protected from 1 to 4, not 5 to 9, and then beyond 10. Okay? So the Pacers have to be worse. The Pacers have to get a top 4 pick in order to keep their pick. So you're going to see a lot of players sitting out for the rest of the team, for the rest of the year. You're going to see a lot of that. And just similarly, the Utah Jazz were smacking on the Orlando Magic a few nights ago, and then they proceeded to not play their 3 best players in Lauri Markkanen and Yusuf Nurkic and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the entire fourth quarter. None of those 3 guys played a single second in the fourth quarter, and they ended up losing that game. So with this take, it comes with real proof in the pudding. Tanking it is an all-time worst right now because of the protection picks, because of the protections. Now, the NBA changed this. I don't know how the NBA can fix this. So this is me just bringing up the issue. I don't know how you fix this. They thought they were going to fix it by giving the bottom 3 teams all equal odds. The Pistons for 3 years in a row fell to the 5th pick. Fell to the 5th pick for 3 years in a row. The Pistons got Cade Cunningham, and then they fell to Jaden Ivey at the 5th, and then they fell to Asar Thompson at the 5th, and then they fell to Ron Holland at the 5th. Even though they were the worst team in the NBA, they should have technically had Wembanyama, but because of Joel Embiid and trust the process, they changed the odds. So now you are truly questioning what tanking is. How? Listen, this is a problem, guys. This is a problem. This is a major problem. Back in the day, back in my day, tanking began after the All-Star break. Tanking started long before the All-Star break this year. Long before. There are 10 embarrassing teams this year. 10 embarrassing teams this year who are all tanking. I see a question. Jeb said, where the fuck is Ron Holland at these days? I'd like to thank the Lord. I forgot to say that. I'd like to thank God himself. He is real. Ron Holland has personal problems right now going on in his life. So he didn't travel with the team to Charlotte. And he's also not traveling today against the Raptors. But I would like to thank God himself. Because if Ron Holland was in Charlotte, you would have had another player leave the bench. Ron Holland can't control himself either. So thank God that Ron was not there. I hope everything's okay in his personal life, but something is going on, so he's not traveling with the team right now. And the Pistons need him, especially if they don't have Duren and Stu for the next few games. So anyways, tanking. Let's just look. You got the Pacers. You got the Wizards. You got the Nets. You got the Bucks. You got the Bulls. All tanking. In fact, if you want my honest opinion, the Hawks, Heat should be tanking as well, but they're not. So you have right there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the East tanking. Let's look in the West. The Kings, it's so funny because their team is just that poorly constructed. They're not trying to tank, yet they're that fucking bad at basketball. They have 12 wins. They are not trying to tank. Oh, the Hawks pick is owned by the Spurs, right? They got the Pelicans pick. So that's, the Hawks can just, they got free money this year. The Kings are that bad. The Kings are that bad. That bad. They're not trying to tank. They're just that bad. 12 wins. The Pelicans traded their pick. So there's no reason to be as bad as they are. Yet here they are being horrible. The Jazz intentionally tanking. The Mavericks tanking. The Grizzlies tanking. And the Clippers, they wanted to tank, but unfortunately they got offered pennies on the dollar for Kawhi Leonard. So they couldn't commit to the full tank. So you have 6 teams in the West tanking. And 5 teams in the East tanking. That's 11 teams. 11 teams in this NBA right now are not trying for the rest of the year. 11 out of 30. Guys, that's more than a third of this league. I somewhat understand now when casual fans of the NBA come in and say, the NBA is a joke. It's just filled with a bunch of tanking teams. It's a joke. And I would always say, what are you talking about? But now it's sort of set in. There used to be 2 teams tanking. It used to be a smooth 2, maybe 3 at most. And now you have more than a third of the NBA tanking. Now, people are saying, you know why so many people are hurt? Let's go through these teams and decide whether it's because they're hurt or not. Pacers, yes. You lost Halliburton. We knew it was going to be a tanking year. The Wizards, no. They don't have anybody hurt. Trae Young is just sitting out. In fact, Anthony Davis was going to sit out all year, but they just said, Anthony Davis, you got to come back and play because you're not that hurt. So he's coming back in a week or 2. So they're not hurt. The Nets, they're not hurt. The Bucks, they're not hurt. Yeah, Giannis, he didn't even get an MRI. He said he's going to be out for 6 weeks. He didn't even get an MRI. He said, I've been playing basketball for a while. I know when my body is hurt. I'm going to be out for 6 weeks. And now he's out. He never even got an MRI. So the Bucks are not hurt. And then the Bulls, they're not hurt either. So that's one team in the East that injuries are the reason why they're tanking. The Kings, they're not hurt. The Pelicans, I can't believe I'm saying this. Zion Williamson has played 29 games in a row. They're not hurt. The Jazz, they're not hurt. The Mavericks, you could say, were hurt. They were missing AD and they were missing Kyrie. The Grizzlies, can you even say they're hurt? John Moran is garbage. I don't even know if you can say that. The Clippers, they're not hurt either. So you have 2 teams out of 11 that were hurt and tanking. Did you hear me? They have 2 teams out of that entire list that are hurt and they're tanking because of that. So that's going to be the end of that. Tanking, I believe, has a very, 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 very big problem right now, guys. I think it's a very big problem with the NBA right now. A third of your league is tanking. Are we sure we want to expand? Are we sure we want 2 more teams? Yes, Ja's hurt, right? Are we sure we want Seattle and Vegas? There's already so many bad teams. Do we really want another 2? I don't know, man. I'm being told the Jazz isn't really that bad. No, the Jazz actually have the historically worst defense in NBA history. They're all offense. They have the worst analytical defense in the entire NBA history. So that's what happens, man. That's what happens. They're a fun offensive team, but they don't play defense. So this year, I told you guys, we're going to get the confirmation of the Seattle Sonics, Supersonics coming back, as well as the Vegas team. So come on, man. Come on. I don't know if we need another 2 teams now. I want to live through an expansion. I just don't think that we need it right now. I just don't think we need it. Let's go ahead. I had another one, but I don't even know if I want to read this. The final true or false, you can just respond. I think I've talked about this enough. The Lakers are contenders. That's false. I think we can all agree the Lakers suck. I know they were missing everyone last night, but can we just agree that the Lakers are a horrible constructed basketball team? Can we just agree to that? I think we can all agree that the Lakers are horrible, right? We all agree. They are the worst good team in the NBA. Just look at their stats right here. They're 30th in minutes, 27th in rebounding, 22nd in assists, 16 in steals, 28th in blocks, 29th in field goals attempted, 23rd in three-pointers made, 23rd in three-pointers attempted, and the 3rd worst defensive team in the NBA, the 2nd worst perimeter defending team in the NBA, and the 3rd worst paint protection team in the NBA. They're fucking horrible. They're horrible. How are you bottom 3 in every defensive stat in the NBA? How are you the worst good team in the NBA? Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's episode. My voice is shot. We're going to end off with this. Sorry we got a little spicy in today's episode, y'all. My apologies. TikTok, if you guys have enjoyed, be sure to leave the TikTok stream and swing on into the Twitch. We'd love to have y'all. Come through to the Twitch, y'all. Marcus, I see you, Marcus. Ricky, Zebros, I really like y'all, man. Tony, come to the Twitch stream, guys. We do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Come to the Twitch chat. Don't go anywhere. We're not leaving. All right. We're just saying bye to the YouTube, podcast listeners, and TikTok. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. The Twitch stream is Jay-Z Uncut. It's the same name. The link is in my bio. Okay. Same name. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 sub. All right. I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, guys, thank you for watching and listening. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Twitch chat. Stick around, y'all. TikTok again.